Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Peace be with you all. Today's video is going to be kind of different because it is not going to be rhyming, it's not a poetry, it's not scripted. I just decided to make this video to share with you guys who I am, where I come from, what got me to Islam, why I became a Muslim, and why am I making the dawah videos that I'm making. So, to start, I'm originally from Russia. My family came to America when I was 9 years old. And my mom is Christian and my dad is Jewish. My stepdad, but he raised me. He's Jewish. So I was raised in a semi-religious Jewish Christian family. And personally, I never cared about God. It was never a topic for me. I felt like it was just, stories of my grandma and whatnot, and it has nothing to do with, with reality, with current reality. So religion was never a topic that I would think of or even care about until I hit my teenage years and I hit depression and just overwhelming emotions and going through a whole bunch of stuff that I felt that I need to connect with something higher. So I decided to look into God. And when I started reading the Bible, it was like, for the first page, for example, it said that, God created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested and got refreshed. To me, it was just, it didn't make sense. I was like, God rested, refreshed? Like, no, it was not feeling right. I felt like these are human qualities. In my mind, I felt like God is something, he's our creator, he's something bigger, doesn't need no rest, he doesn't need none of that. So I saw the flaws in the Bible. So I figured, you know what, I was right. It is the tales of the ancients, nobody cares about it, forget it. But maybe it is not Christianity, maybe I'm just looking to a wrong religion, maybe I should look into Buddhism. And so I started looking into Buddhism and concept of Tao, which was actually very interesting, but there was also things that threw me off because Buddhism is not a religion, okay? Buddhism is just kind of a way of life, I guess. So there was no connection with God for me. So after Buddhism, the next thing I looked into was actually Hinduism. I figured they're very ancient religion, they know what's going on. I looked into Hinduism, but as soon as I hit the whole, monkey god, four hands god, I can't follow this, I cannot. Buddhism is not really religion. Hinduism is to me, it was nonsensical because of like their descriptions of God, and Christianity just didn't make any sense either because I saw so much contradictions and mistakes from my point of view, from my kind of an inner belief in God. So what I looked into after that was polytheism. I was like, you know what, maybe religions of even more ancient people are right. Maybe the whole statue worshipping thing is a thing. Maybe they're just spirits that created this universe, and if we have these statues, that's how we connect with them. So it was a funny story because at that time I actually decided to go and buy a statue. Yes, I went to the store. It is called Psychic Eye. It's some kind of a new age store, and I walk in there and I'm like, I want to buy a statue of God, do you have any? And as I said that, I realized how dumb I sound, and I'm like, the guy's gonna kick me out of here. But instead he looks at me, he's like, yes we do, which one would you like? Needless to say, I didn't buy anything. I went home, I was like, you know what, this is the end. I no longer believe in religion, it's all nonsense, I'm crazy, and this gotta stop. And this is how I became an atheist. I decided that there is no God, none of this is true, it's just I'm wasting my time. And that led me to some of the darkest ages of my life. I mean, not caring led me to really not care. I started drinking, I was partying, was into criminal activity, doing a lot of bad stuff just because I felt the only way I could get in trouble if I'll get caught, and I'm not gonna get caught. Eventually, it made me feel miserable. It made me feel like there's just nothing out there, life is pointless. You know, I could do all this evil stuff and I could get a whole bunch of money doing it, but I don't feel happy. I don't feel complete. I don't feel my life is worth anything. And I got seriously depressed. Like, I had a concept in my mind that I knew, okay, if there is God, this is how he should be, you know. He cannot be a human, he cannot be something that eats and sleeps, he cannot have like 2 arms, 3 arms, or be blue, green, whatever. Like, it has to be something out there because I could feel it. I didn't have knowledge of it. And I remember one time, me and my girlfriends, we were actually at a bar, and there was a group of guys standing there, and I could hear the conversation, and I noticed one of the guys' name was Islam. His name was Islam. And I'm trying to listen kind of to what they're talking about because we're just all standing outside and I could hear them. And I hear one of them saying that, yeah, there's this religion. Like, I could hear them talking about Islam. I'm not sure even how their conversation about that started, but what I got out of it, that Islam is a religion. And up until then, I used to think Islam is like some city in the Middle East where like these crazy terrorist people are from. I never even considered it a religion. Like, from the religions I was reading about, Islam just never came up. So for me, I was like, man, I don't even know anything about it. Like, a few days later, I was actually at work and their conversation kind of popped up into my mind again. So I Googled Islam, found out that their book, they actually have a book, and it's the Quran, and decided to read it. So the first thing I read was beginning of Surah Baqarah, second chapter, and it was talking about how, you know, this message is for those who believe in one God, who believe in the unseen. And it was something about that message. And in the end, where I stopped reading, it said that basically those who do believe in prophets and do believe in the unseen and do believe in God and all of these things, those are the successful. And at that time, I can't even describe what happened. As I was reading it, I started having tears floating out of my eyes. Like, my body started shaking. I started crying. In my brain, I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I didn't read nothing else. I have no concept of what Islam is. I just read that first page and it was like a light bulb in my brain. It was just amazing for me. I could not stop myself from crying. Something happened inside my heart and my mind that I just couldn't stop. And I was at work. I had to leave the office, say, you know, tell them that something serious happened. I have to be outside for a few moments. I went outside and I just cried. Go back in there, Google how to become a Muslim. And it said, you know, you have to read the Shahada. And I, in the English letters, I actually read the Shahada right then and there without having no info on anything else. I just felt like this is what I was looking for and this is what I was missing. So I become a Muslim, and I know nothing about praying, covering. I don't know any Muslims. It's just, but somehow what happened, just some months passed by, and I get introduced to a Muslim guy. Oh, pause that. Before that actually happened, I told my family that I converted, and they kicked me out of the house. They told me that, you know, you're the Christian, stay here, or if you want to be a Muslim, just go. And I left, and I was, you know, part homeless, I guess. I was just sleeping at a friend's house. But yeah, a few months after that, I met a Muslim guy and fell in love and got married to him, still not knowing much about Islam. And the relationship, it was good in the beginning, but then it just went bad because he, as good as he was, he came from extremely strict family who were not happy about him marrying a convert. and I could not connect to anybody. Sudden, I just got hit with like, okay, everything is haram. You know, you cannot go out with your friends anymore, you cannot be partying, you cannot do this and that and this and that and this and that. And 6 years that we were married, I felt alone. And I feel like that is what started to take me away from Islam. So anytime I would see something bad from him, I would actually blame Islam for it. You know, you're not letting me go and see my girlfriends. That's because of Islam. Islam is... So I started building this because I had no knowledge in the beginning, and suddenly I had a lot of negativity about it. I started stepping away from the deen. I started stepping away from religion. I ended up losing my family. I stopped praying. I went astray. I mean, what can I say? I decided to start reading Quran again. I bought a Quran. It came. So what I did was I got home from the gas station and started to have a serious kind of a conversation with my own self. I wanted to start covering. I wanted to stop, you know, partying, stop drinking, stop hanging out with bad people, stop doing everything that's not, you know, that God would not be happy with me. I met my roommates who were Islamophobic. And when I told them I'm Muslim, their first reaction was like, ugh. So a few days after I wrote that poem, it was, I don't remember, it was morning or noontime. I left my house. I was about to drive somewhere. And as I'm walking, all of a sudden, I see this vision in front of my eyes. And in that vision, I see American flag and United States of America, right? But United States of America is changing into Islamic States of America. And I was like, what? What is... It was just such a weird thing for me because... But that vision, it made my heart beat fast. You know, I felt like, man, maybe this is a sign that I should get into dawah, that I should help people see Islam from how I see it, because it's really an amazing thing, you know. It helped me and cured me so many times throughout my life. And I got very excited about that vision. I was like, you know what, maybe this is it. I'm gonna start doing dawah, I'm gonna start calling people to Islam, you know, maybe help a lot of Americans, and this is what I should do. So my near-death experience happened about a couple of days after the whole conversation with my friend. And what happened was I was driving on a highway, and the speed limit there was 75 miles an hour. And my car comes to an incline, and I'm driving and I'm realizing the car is gaining speed, so I want to press brakes to slow the car down. And I press my brakes and the brakes do not work. Yes, I am flooring them 100% to the floor and nothing is happening. And because the car is on the incline, it starts to gain speed. So I'm terrified. I'm terrified. My brain starts processing this information, realizing that this is it. This is how most likely I'm gonna die. What do I do? So my first thought was I have to call my mom. I pick up my phone. At that point, I just pick up my phone because I know that I'm done. There's nothing I could do. I want to call her. My phone has no signal. So I put down my phone and I start praying. And I start asking God that if this is my time, please take me painlessly. And I start saying my shahada, which is basically what you're supposed to say when you're, you know, when you're dying or becoming a Muslim. You say your shahada. So I said my shahada and I was like, God, if this is it, I'm ready to go. If you take me, I'm ready. But if you do save me, I promise that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life on your path. And as I say that, I press brakes one last time and subhanallah, it works. And my car starts slowing down. I cried. I literally started crying. I stopped the car eventually, and for a few minutes, I was just crying nonstop. I was shaking. In the morning, I wake up. I cannot believe I'm alive. Like, that whole story just keeps rerunning through my head, and it was, I just could not believe I survived that. I was 100%, without a doubt, 100% certain that this is how I die. But that promise that I made, it was like so sharp in the morning in my mind, and I knew that I have to keep that promise. I promised God that if He saves me, I'm going to spend the rest of my life on His cause, and I knew I had to keep that promise. So the next morning, I had no more doubt about my vision, and I had no more doubt about what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is how I decided to take the poem that I wrote in the beginning, make it into a YouTube video, and continue making different videos answering the most often asked questions about Islam, or answering things about Islam that I had trouble with and I wish somebody showed me in the beginning. So it's still beginning of my journey, but this is how I got here, and this is why I got here, and I'm looking forward to completing my promise to God. And I'm very grateful for you guys, whoever is watching this and whoever has been following me on my channel. It just motivates me to keep going, and thank you guys for that. And I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you kind of know more about me and feel understand me more, I guess. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my next videos. Thank you very much for listening. Assalamu alaikum, and have a great day.